Hi lovelies, how are we all? So the project I'm sharing with you today is my take on the Project Life monthly sketch challenge from the Kitaholic group. Yes, finally, that's a mouthful. I've tried 3 times to say that. So this is my take on the sketch. Now every month Steph puts up a sketch challenge in the group. Now it's usually a 12 by 12 sketch, but this month she spoiled us with 2 to choose from. We had a Project Life sketch and a 12 by 12 sketch. And that printout is the Project Life sketch that I'm basing this layout on. I've never used a Project Life sketch for a Project Life layout before, so I was really excited to give this a go. So the photos I decided to use for this sketch was my son's football presentation night. Now my son was on a touch football team. The thing was, we made this team, was for the 2016-2017 season from October to March, and we made a specialised ASD team. Now if you've watched any of my videos, you may have heard me mention that my sons both have autism, so getting him onto a team was a little bit difficult to find a coach and a team that just fit, so we made our own. So we went to our local touch competition, spoke to them about it, and put our own team into the competition. So basically what it meant was our team was made up of children with autism, ADHD, developmental delays, things like that. So our entire team was a special needs team. So in saying that, we didn't win any games, but we didn't really care. It was all about playing. So when it came to presentation night, well, we had our own presentation night, basically. The under 8s don't have a finals, they all get a certificate. And because it was our first year in the competition and the first time most of these kids have ever played a sport, we decided as a team to go and have a dinner and get the kids all a trophy each, which they absolutely loved. So of course we took lots of photos from that night and throughout the season in general. So I wanted to document the presentation night as a night on its own instead of just putting it in my weekly Project Life. So this layout, this sketch was perfect for this. So at the time, I did feel like it took me a little bit to get on a roll. It felt like it took me a little bit longer than I would have liked to get comfortable with the layout and get things happening. I felt like I was jumping between all my embellishments, pretty undecided about what I was going to do. And sometimes that happens to me. Okay, that happens to me a lot more than not, really, but it's just my process, so I go with it. But I find that once I find my flow and find my click, things come together really quickly. Now it might be that I find an embellishment or a few things that I can put together that set me off on my roll, or it might just be that things just click into place and I just absolutely love it, and then off I go and I'm on fire. Sometimes it can take me a little bit to get to that point, which is what happened with this layout. It did take me a little bit to find the right things to fit and to sort of get the mojo flowing and get this layout done. So it took a little longer than I would have expected. So as you can see, I've been fluttering around for a few minutes now, and really I've got nothing done. It took me a while to pick my photos. To pick my cards. And then I'm going through my embellishments. I'm trying to make these work for this layout. Now, considering it's a layout of a sports presentation, I have my work cut out for me. So I was trying to think how I could make this work. I really did consider going and getting different photos. It would have made it a lot easier, but that's not what I wanted to do. I really wanted to document this day, and so I stuck with it. And I think it's around about here that I finally start to get onto a good flow. Now, the middle right hand side with the 2 smaller photos, that was actually one of my favorites. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know that I generally tend to stick to 4x6 and 3x4. It's very rarely that I'll print smaller photos. The fact that this had one in the sketch meant I had to do it for the sketch, and I really love it. I love the fact that those 2 are on this card. The photos I love, but I also have extra space on the card to embellish a little bit, so that was a lot of fun to do. And I have to admit, this sketch just seemed perfect for this kit, because most of the elements in the sketch did seem to be pieces that worked with the kit. Like this little scalloped border thing here. Now when I saw this sheet of puffy borders, I honestly didn't have a clue what I was going to use it for. And then on the sketch, it worked perfectly for this. So yeah, little things like that. Always look at, how you can use all your stash up. It's really cool. So obviously this sketch was picked very well by our fearless leader. So another thing that I think is a fantastic inclusion in this kit is this A4 sheet of tiny word phrases. This thing is awesome. I think I have used this on every single project I have done so far, and I still have so many left. I think I use a fair few. I think I use at least 3 or 4 on this spread alone, and it's great. It's a really great inclusion, great value as well. So by all means, I encourage you to cut this up and look at some of the awesome phrases on this. They can be used for so much, such great variety on there as well. So I'm just adding some wood veneer. These stars weren't in this month's kit, but they were about 2 months ago because they tend to stay in my little plate of awesomeness up there. I just leave them in there and I just keep using them every month afterwards until I use them up. So they're my kind of embellishment. I love stars and things like that. Little tiny wood veneer as well. So I just leave them in my plate. Now, my plate of awesomeness, if you haven't heard me refer to that before, is this what I use to store my embellishments in up in the top left hand corner there. I call that my plate of awesomeness. It's just a 4-compartment plate, and I put all my embellishments in there, and I store that in my 12 by 12 box that I have my kit in. So I'm going to work on my title card now, and I struggled with the title card because on the sketch, as you can see, it's looks like a doily. So you'd think to use a doily. I'm not a fan of little doilies. I'm really not. I use them a little bit in my 12 by 12 scrapping as a layer, but that's generally the bigger ones. The little ones I just can't use. And I felt that obviously a doily didn't really go with this spread. So I do change it up a little bit. I decided to cut one of those labels out and use that as my little focal piece down the bottom. So I do change it a little bit, but that is what a sketch is all about. It is inspiration, your interpretation of the sketch. It doesn't have to stick to it perfectly. So as you can see on the card, there is a little something down the bottom of it. Now, when I cut my papers down to fit in my 12 by 12 box, I cut off the branding strip, but I always keep them, and this is why it sort of doubles as like a washi layer if you wanted to use it like that. Generally, you get, I think it's about a centimetre long 12 by 12, not 12 by 12, a centimetre long 12-inch strip. And it's great for little things like this. Like you can use it as washi or as, you know, a border or something. And that's what I found was perfect for my card. I didn't have to cut any paper down. I had it there ready to go. So for my title, I'm just going to write football prez, you know, nothing too exciting and nothing too long. And I use the white puffy alphas that came in the kit. These alphas they feel really great. They're a really nice consistency or texture, I guess you'd say. They're actually really spongy. They were a lot of fun to play with. So yeah, just as you can see, I'm diverting from the sketch again. I'm not putting my title on that little circular piece on the card. I'm actually putting it on the card. But what I am going to do is I'm going to stamp the date inside that oval label there. And to do that, I'm going to use my favorite alphabet stamps, my wooden set that I got from Typo. Now, I keep this set on my desk. It's in a little box, and it's just little tiny wooden stamps, and the alphabet and the numbers, and it just sits on my desk, and I find that way I tend to use it more often. This is my other set that I have. It's a lowercase set, but I decided to use the uppercase. The lowercase set I actually got from Kmart. But yeah, the uppercase from Typo. Best thing I ever bought, I think. I just keep it on my desk, and I find that I use it on pretty much most things that I do. I use it in my art journal, my junk journal, yeah, my project life, everything. So definitely a great investment. Get yourself a good little alpha, or alpha stamp set, because I have bigger alpha sets, but I tend to not go into my stash and get out my block and then my ink and things. And these are just the perfect size. They're nice and small, so they're great for project life. And yeah, I just sit them on my desk, and that way I tend to use them much more often. So if you've ever watched one of my project life videos, you will have noticed that I never do one card or one photo from beginning to end. I jump all over the place. As you can see, I've gone back to the middle 4x6 card, and I'm adding a doodly border, and I'm going to add some stars as well. I am probably the most easily distracted person there is. So I jump from one thing to another quite often, and I do it a lot in my scrapbooking. So I'll put a few things down, and then I'll move on to, say, my title card, and then I'll go back to the card I was doing before. Yeah, I flutter all over the place. So that's what I'm doing. I'm adding some more of those wood veneer stars and a bit of a doodly border, and then I think this card may be finished. I did keep the embellishing on the photos down to a minimum. Mostly because I had the 2 empty 4x6 cards as well as my title card to embellish as well, and I felt that brought a lot of embellishments onto the layout, so I felt that the photos didn't really need a lot. So all I'm doing for the photo in the middle left, that's a picture of my son's trophy, his medal that he got off the committee, and then the photo that I took at our presentation. I took a photo of all of the kids some point during the season, and I gave them that photo at presentation with their trophy. So this was Cooper's photo, and I'm just putting down a little label and a word sticker on that, and that's pretty much all I'm doing to embellish that photo. So now if you look at the bottom left hand corner of the sketch, it's a journaling card. Well, that's what I put it down to be. So that's what I'm going to work on now. And to do this, again, I don't follow exactly as the sketch does, but close enough for me, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. So what I do is I go and get an old blank Project Life card, cut it down to size, re-round the corners, and then I'm going to put that on top of my 4x6 card, and I'm going to use this to do my journaling. I was really proud of the fact that I remembered to go and get the paper clips that came in the kit to use on this card, just like in the sketch. See what I mean by this sketch being perfect for this kit? So I was really proud of the fact that I was able to use that paper clip on a Project Life spread and followed that part of the sketch so closely. I was very happy with myself for that. And then again, back to that A4 sheet of tiny word phrases. How awesome is it? It's like an entire A4 sheet. It's perfect. Now, I love tiny word stickers and phrase stamps and things like that, so this was right up my alley. So I go through and find some phrases that work for this spread, cut them out and stick them down, and that's pretty much how I'm embellishing this card. So then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add my title for my journaling, and my title is just going to be Noisy Crickets, and that was the name of our team. And to do that, I'm going to go back and get my wooden alphabet stamps. Like I said, I use this more than anything. And I'm going to stamp my title. That's what I love about these stamps. It's so easy and so quick to get a title done. So once I'm done with that, what I will then do is I'm going to doodle on some journaling lines and add my journaling. And then that's it for my layout. So once I found my flow, I found that it went together really quickly after that initial hesitation, I guess you'd say. So I hope you've enjoyed my video. I sure enjoyed doing this spread, and I loved the sketch. I absolutely loved doing a Project Life layout to a sketch, so I'm looking forward to more Project Life sketches in the future. I'd love to see your take on the sketch, so don't forget to give the sketch challenges a go, and then post your layouts in the group. We'd love to see your take on the sketches. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back later in the month with more projects with the fabulous April kits. I'll see you soon. Bye.